I'm Raven and I am back with another Pick a Pile tarot card reading. This time it is New Year themed for the new year. So I have 4 piles here. Each pile contains different segments of the reading. So we will have what did you learn in 2020, or maybe what should you have learned in 2020? What do you need to let go from 2020? What do you need to work on for this next upcoming year? What can you look forward to for this year? And who or what will be guiding you through this year? So I will now include a clip giving a close-up look of the different indicators on each pile. The first pile we have is amethyst, a little amethyst stone. Second pile we have a little clear quartz stone. Third pile is some tiger's eye. And the last one is some desert jasper. It's meant for you. If you don't feel particularly drawn to any of these piles, that's okay. That could just mean that your message is not included in this video today. It is a general reading and there are only 4 piles, so it could be that none of them apply to you, and that's okay. If you just want to go ahead and pick one, even if you don't feel drawn to it, maybe it was a sign that you were meant to watch it, and take what resonates, leave what does not. But with that, I will see you in whatever section that you pick. All right, group 1, group with the amethyst stone indicator. So we'll just go through your cards really quickly, and then of course I'll explain what they all mean. So for what lessons you've learned, or maybe should have learned if you haven't, we had 6 of Cups reversed and Father of Swords. For the next section, what do you need to let go of? We had 10 of Swords and the 2 of Swords reversed. Next, what do you need to work on for this upcoming year? The octopus. Interesting. And then what can you look forward to for this upcoming year? We had the 10 of Swords upright and the Chariot. And then finally, what or who is going to guide you through this year? And you have the Hummingbird. So let's go through all of that. What does that mean? So for the lessons that you learned, or maybe should have learned, the first one is Father of Swords. So this is the last card of the suit of swords, so it is the epitome of the sword energy. And the sword energy is all about discipline, rules, structure, stuff like that. So this year you might have needed to learn to discipline yourself, to structure your life, to adhere to rules, and just have order in your life. And that could have helped you through last year. It might be something you struggle with and therefore learned about, but order, discipline, rules, law, all of that is what you learned or needed to learn in the last year. And then we have 6 of Cups. I had it reversed. The 6 of Cups is a card that basically speaks about the past in your childhood and stuff like that. But when it's reversed, the message I'm getting for it is don't get stuck in the past. Don't be caught up in all the nostalgia that you might have been feeling. And that's probably something that you learned this year. It's not good to just live in the past, and it's time to let go of the nostalgia that you've been feeling. It might also mean that maybe you had a troubled childhood, and this year you learned to kind of let go of the aspects of that childhood that troubled you. So lessons there: order, discipline, structure, don't live in the past, let go of the past. It's in the past, so leave it there. Okay, so what do you need to let go from this year? The first we had 2 of Swords, which was reversed. So what this means is that you need to let go of indecision or bad decisions. The 2 of Swords is a card of decisions, of choices. It is, the dichotomy of this choice or that choice. But when it's reversed, you are either making bad choices, just using bad judgment and just picking the wrong thing, unfortunately, or you are not making decisions at all and you're just letting things being decided for you. So what you need to let go from 2020 is indecision or bad decisions, which can be hard, I know. It's easier said than done, definitely. Next card that we have here is the Nine of Swords. So you can see that this person is in their bed. They're not having a good time. Obviously, they're a little bit stressed. So anxiety, paranoia, not being able to sleep, fears of loneliness, just fear in general, inner struggle is what needs to be left behind in 2020. Of course, easier said than done. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit hard, but that is something that you need to try and let go of. All that fear, paranoia, anxiety. So in order to do that, you have to do things that make you feel grounded and make sure that you are remaining connected to those around you and that you feel connected to the world around you. That way you don't feel so alone, and if you're surrounded by good people, you're less apt to feel afraid and anxious and all of that. So that's something that needs to be left behind. Try your hardest. Like I said, I know it's easier said than done, of course. So what do you need to work on? The octopus. So the octopus is an animal, in this case, that gets entangled in things. It has 8 tentacles. It gets entangled quite easily. And that's something that you need to work on, is setting boundaries for yourself. Making sure that you don't lose yourself in other people. You need to earn your independence, set up boundaries for yourself, and be patient with yourself in setting up those boundaries, because it's another thing that is not easy. But it is something that you need to work on. Become independent and confident in yourself and be less entangled in other people. So work on that. All right, so what can you look forward to for this upcoming year? We have the Ten of Swords and the Chariot. So this is a case of a good card and a bad card. So first we'll talk about the bad card. The Ten of Swords is basically rock bottom. You can see this poor buffalo, bison, is not good. He's not having a good time. He has had 9 swords in his back and 1 right through his eyes. So 10 of Swords is unfortunately rock bottom, in the sense that you are letting people walk all over you. And as I just said, you need to kind of set your boundaries, stand up for yourself, gain independence and confidence, and maybe, this event, this rock bottom feeling of just everyone uses you, everyone walks all over you, maybe that won't happen if you're actively working on your octopus energy. But yeah, there might be a time in this upcoming year where you just feel really down on yourself. Like, how can I let people use me like this? They just walk all over me. It's awful. Unfortunately, there might be a moment in this year where you feel that way. However, the good card, the Chariot, is kind of the flip side of that. The Chariot is triumph. It is strong will. So if you are willingly adhering to your boundaries that you set up for yourself, you are, making sure that other people don't cross those boundaries, that you don't dissolve these boundaries in order to please these other people. If you are strong-willed with your boundaries, you will feel triumphant, you will feel confident, you'll feel good about yourself, and you'll just feel like a whole new person, I feel like. And once you get to that point and you realize that, yes, I am deserving of boundaries, I am deserving of people respecting me, you really want to form a relationship with that person that you are, and realize that that is you, and that you deserve all these things, and that you continue to deserve these things, and that you got to this place, and now you can carry yourself onward in this, so-called chariot that you have made yourself to be. You are this vessel that is capable of moving forward. So that's good as well. That's some good energy. All right, so lastly, who or what is going to be helping you through this year? Who's going to be guiding you? And we have the hummingbird. So this could mean a few different things. It could mean that maybe your spirit guide will manifest as a hummingbird, just literally, when it's summer and you see a hummingbird, that could be your spirit guide just letting you know, I'm here, It could mean that you need to embody the hummingbird energy in order to move forward, and that's what will foster this growth that you will be going through this year. And hummingbird energy is positivity, it is creativity, it's being out in nature, it's exploring your spirituality. And hummingbird habits, basically, or the habit that you can embody that hummingbirds do, is having a source of nectar, so to speak. So something that makes you feel good and happy, something that brings you just that light feeling. Once you have that thing, go back to it and let it be your nectar. Let it be the source of your happiness. Like, don't go looking somewhere else if you've already found what makes you happy, because that's what hummingbirds do. You know, they find their source of nectar and they go back to it, and that's how they find their sweetness, their happiness. So it could help to embody that as well. So yeah, basically, to just sum that up, I think that things that will help push you forward this year will be things out in nature, things that make you feel creative, things that are positive, and also exploring your spirituality will help advance you this year. So that is all that I have for you, Group 1. Sounds like maybe a rough year a little bit, but also a really good year if you are willing to work on your octopus energy through the hummingbird energy and everything else that I said. So thank you so much, Group 1. I appreciate it, and Happy New Year. All right, Group 2, the group who picked the clear quartz. Let's go through your cards real quick, and then I will explain what they all mean. So, for lessons that you have learned, or maybe should have learned this past year, we have Two of Cups reversed and the World. For what you need to let go of for this past year, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, as well as the World reversed. What you need to work on this year is moth energy. What you can look forward to this year, we have Four of Wands, which is good, Queen of Swords, which is good, and the Lovers, which is really good. And then lastly, who or what is going to guide you through this year? And you got the Panther. So that's exciting as well. I think of all the groups, this group is the best group. So I'm happy for you, Group 2. Okay, so lessons. What should you have learned, or what did you learn in 2020? So first we have the World. And this is a good lesson. I think maybe this year, as crappy as it was, you learned that there is endless possibility for expression. You learned that you are accepted, that you belong, and that maybe you have some sort of completion that you went through in 2020. So the World is it's a really good card. It's, I mean, kind of like what it says. It's the world. It's everything. There's boundless opportunities, boundless possibilities. You can basically be or do whatever you want, and it's because you feel accepted, you feel supported, you feel like you belong somewhere. And that's a really good lesson. Hopefully you did learn that. If not, maybe open your eyes and see that the world isn't such a bad place. Bad things happen for sure, but it's not a bad place overall, and good things can happen. The next one, we have Two of Cups reversed. So something you might have learned this year is that communication in relationships is really, really important. When Two of Cups is reversed, it signifies basically miscommunication in relationships. It can also mean maybe boundaries aren't being set in relationships, and maybe that this certain relationship was a little bit codependent. So Two of Cups, hopefully you learned to communicate a little bit clearer and to set boundaries a little bit clearer. If not, maybe you just learned the lesson that those things are important, and that's a lesson that you can carry with you going into this next year. So That is the Two of Cups. You need boundaries, you need communication and trust in your relationships. So, what do you need to let go of in 2020? We had the world, and the Wheel of Fortune both reversed, which I thought was really interesting because you had the world upright for your lessons, and now you have the world reversed for what you need to let go of. So we'll start with that one. When it is reversed, the world represents boundaries. So as I was saying before, you might have learned that there are boundless opportunities and possibilities, and something that you need to let go of now that you've learned that lesson is boundaries that you set for yourself. I feel like sometimes you set these limits on yourself because you feel like you need to, because you feel like they're just self-imposed, you know? Like, that's something that you need to let go of. Do not limit yourself because you are boundless. You have so many possibilities and opportunities, so don't restrict yourself. Leave that in 2020. So next we have the Wheel of Fortune. Reversed, this represents maybe a standstill or some sort of closure. So I think this means maybe you reached a spot where you felt like you couldn't grow anymore because of your self-imposed boundaries, and that got you to a standstill. Like I said, you got to get rid of those boundaries, and I think that will get rid of this standstill that the Wheel of Fortune is talking about. Yeah, just don't restrict yourself. Like, you're going places. You just have to let it be. And that's another thing with the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Don't resist fate, because if you resist fate, I don't want to say bad things will happen because that's not necessarily true, but lessons will be learned, and they might be hard lessons. So don't force yourself to be still. Let it go, let it be, and let life just flow. You know, that's what I feel like needs to be let go of for you in 2020. Boundaries and basically fear of change and just being at a standstill. Leave those behind. You have a world of opportunity open for you. Like, that's just what I'm getting. Like, this year is going to be good for you. Really good. So, like I said, I'm happy for you, group 2. With that being said, what do you need to work on? Ooh. The moth. You need to work on your moth energy. So moths like light, right? You know, they're in the dark and they see a light and they're like, ooh, shiny, and they go over there. That's pretty much what you need to work on. You like easy solutions. You want the easiest path to get to what you want, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, of course, work smarter, not harder, but sometimes things require hard work, and you have to take the hard path to learn lessons, to feel accomplished, and whatnot. So work on that need, that want for everything to be easy, because sadly, that's just not how life is. But also with this, you know, don't always go running to the new shiny thing. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Just because it's new and shiny doesn't mean that you need to abandon everything that you have worked on or, you know, accomplished for this new shiny thing. Don't be the moth going to the light, you know. Work on that energy. Let's see. Yeah, so take the hard path. It will help you, it will form you, and don't be so easily bought. Work on that. Okay, so now what can you look forward to? We're going to start with the Queen of Swords. This card represents basically a sharp mind and clear boundaries. So it could be that the boundaries that I was talking about before with the Two of Cups, like you need to set your boundaries and communicate and stuff like that. This could be that this is the year where you like implement those things. You have strong boundaries, you have a sharp mind, you're able to communicate things clearly and effectively. The Queen of Swords is kind of like the card of professions like lawyers or like business people, just people with like really sharp minds and who know exactly what they like want, what their goal is, what they need to accomplish, and how to get there, basically. So you could embody this energy in this upcoming year, which is really great. That's awesome. So that's good. Clear boundaries, sharp mind. So next we have the Four of Wands. So I initially pulled this card as reversed, but essentially it's the same thing, upright as well, which is good because it's a celebration card. The Four of Wands is basically like harvest and celebration. You can see these people are celebrating. It's a happy, good time. You get to reap the rewards of what you've been working on. You get to celebrate something. It could be a promotion. It could be just feeling happy and celebrating that after a hard year in 2020. However, with this next card, the Lovers, I do feel like this celebration will be a new relationship, or a new level of commitment in your relationship. Because the Lovers is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's a life-changing relationship. It's a deeper level of experiencing things in your relationship. So I think that maybe you'll be getting like engaged or married, or maybe you'll just get a new significant other and you get to celebrate that. Maybe you just find a new level of connectedness with your partner, which are all things to celebrate. So this could mean something completely unrelated, like I said, maybe promotion, maybe you graduate from school, all good things to celebrate. But I think with this card, along with it, it will be a celebration of some sort of connection, some sort of relationship. So that's awesome. But next, we have the Panther, which will be the energy or the spirit guide that will help you through this next year, 2021. This is an intense spirit guide. You can see here, like, he doesn't look cute and cuddly. He looks kind of mean and vicious. And it is a fire sign animal. So fire is quick, it's hot, it's uncomfortable sometimes, and that's kind of the energy that the Panther embodies. This energy or this guide, whatever's going to help you through this year, is going to come into your life really quickly, unexpectedly. It might be uncomfortable, but it's there to like kickstart things. As I was saying earlier, like, part of your issue is being at a stalemate. It's those boundaries. Like, you want to keep yourself in a box and not move anywhere. The Panther is here to like get you out of that box. Like, no, you're gonna be out there in the world learning the lessons that you need to learn. And that will probably be scary and uncomfortable when you like begin that journey. But that's the power of a fire sign guide. It's just there to like light a fire under your ass, actually. That's what it's there for. So it will be a good year for you, but there might be moments where you're just uncomfortable, you're unsure, you don't like how things are going, but you just have to trust the journey, because it takes these moments of uncomfortableness and just like, I don't know, I just feel like fear. You might be scared of things that are happening, but these are the moments that are there to teach you that you can do these things. Like, you have this world of possibility that I was talking about. It just takes that leap of faith that the Panther will help give you. So keep a lookout for that. If weird new things are happening, just know that it's that Fire Panther pushing you to be a better person in 2021. So that is all that I have for you, Group 2. Thank you so much. I hope that some of this resonated for you. And Happy New Year. Let's go 2021. We will conquer it. So thank you, Group 2. All right, Group 3. First of all, the sun is setting. So if the lighting gets weird throughout this, I apologize. But hopefully it won't. Anyway, this is the group with the tiger's eye little point here. I love these. So cool. Okay, we're going to go through your cards real quick, and then I will go back and let you know what they all mean, of course. So first, with lessons that you learned or maybe should have learned in 2020, we have the Tower and we have the Daughter of Cups. And then next, what should you leave behind in 2020? We have the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Eight of Pentacles also reversed. What do you need to work on? Dolphin, your dolphin energy. And what can you look forward to? Three of Wands reversed, Eight of Wands reversed, Father of Wands reversed, and then finally, who or what is going to help guide you through this next year? And you guys have the Wolf, which I think is really cool. I think that's a good guide to have. So, what do these cards mean? What lessons did you learn in 2020? I thought it was kind of funny that you guys got the Tower, because if there was ever a Tower year, I think it was 2020. What the Tower means, basically, you could see here, this tree is getting struck by lightning. This long-standing tree that has deep roots is getting toppled over. So things that you thought were for sure or like really sturdy came tumbling down this year, which I think a lot of people felt. But you learned that, you know, not everything is for sure. Things can come crumbling down, and unfortunately they will sometimes. So you learned upheaval. But I think with this, another lesson that you've learned is that that's not necessarily a bad thing. It might feel really bad in the moment, but in the future, once you've like learned the lessons that this upheaval needed to teach you, you can look back and realize that, you know, it was a teaching moment. It might not have been the best moment of your life, but like you learned a lot of lessons from it, and the lessons that you learned are worth all that like chaos and pain that you went through in 2020. So that's maybe something that you learned this year, or maybe that you will learn. It could be that, you know, by the end of this year, you'll look back on 2020 and realize, like, I did learn lessons from the chaos that was 2020. But next, we have Daughter of Cups. And this, oh, it was actually reversed. So Daughter of Cups reversed. This card means that you might be a little too self-involved to notice the world around you. And I think this also plays in with the Tower. You might be a little bit naive and just like not really understand the world around you, or maybe you just kind of had your own bubble and like this was your world and you didn't quite understand how big the world was. This year, you learned those things. You saw basically the destruction of the world about you, and you realized that the world is bigger than just you, and that feelings, like your feelings, are not the only feelings that matter in the world. Like there are so many other people, millions, billions of people in the world who also matter. So I think a lesson that you learned this year was pretty much just opening your eyes and seeing that, you know, there are other people in the world. You're not just in your little bubble. There's a whole world out there. There's a lot of people. So those are some lessons that maybe you learned or needed to learn this year. Hold on. Ooh, I've been talking for a while. Need some water. Okay, what do you need to let go of? The Wheel of Fortune reversed. So when this Wheel of Fortune is reversed, it represents resistance, pretty much. So you need to let go of this resistance that maybe you're feeling. You're going to be moving forward in your life in some aspect, and you need to stop like holding on to where you are right now. Like, you know, let's picture yourself in a river, okay? You're holding onto a branch and not letting yourself getting taken away by the current. A nice like lovely current, not something that's going to kill you. You know, you're just going down the river, but you, for some reason, are holding on and you do not want to go down this river. It's time to let go of that branch and let yourself progress forward in your life. You have to let go of resistance. Another thing with the Wheel of Fortune reversed is resisting fate. You don't want to resist your fate because then you will just miss out on your life. And you might learn some hard lessons that maybe you don't necessarily want to learn, all because you just resisted. You didn't want to move forward. You didn't want to grow. You need to let go of that. It's time to let go. Figuratively, metaphorically, let yourself be carried away along the river that is your life. Second thing you need to let go of, 8 of Pentacles reversed. Kind of along the same vein, you need to let go of your inaction. So because you are holding on to this branch, not going down the river, you aren't learning how to swim or like how to float down this river, so to speak. You aren't putting in the work that you need to be putting in. You're kind of being lazy. Like, I don't know how else to put it. You need to like get on things and start putting in the work that you need to put in so that you can progress. So yeah, essentially you need to let go of your inaction and your unwillingness to work. And I don't mean that in a rude way. Like, I get lazy too sometimes. I feel ya. But it's time to let go of that energy. Leave that in 2020. But also with this 8 of Pentacles, if you feel like you are on the wrong path with like your school or your job, and you feel it like this is not right for me, then you need to take action and change that path. Because if you really feel that way, like you need to do something about it. You don't want to be floating down the wrong river and like be at the end of the river and be like, this is not where I wanted to be, you know? If this is not the path that you want to be on, change it. So yes, leave inaction back in 2020, leave your resistance back in 2020. 2021 is the year where you go get them, you do the hard work, and you will accomplish good things. So what do you need to work on? The Dolphin. So the Dolphin is actually a pretty like positive card. So the things that you need to work on, they're like positive things for yourself. The Dolphin is like a really sensitive, spiritual animal. Basically, the emphasis with this card is like humans don't even really know the extent of like what dolphins are capable of, because I'm sure you know, dolphins are smart, you know, they're like one of the smarter animals out there. So part of what you need to work on is not underestimating your power. You can do things, you will do things, you just have to believe in yourself and not underestimate your power. Like, you are capable of doing the work. You are capable of going down that damn river. You can do it. And part of what might help kind of like expedite finding your power and realizing like how great you are is doing a little bit of spiritual exploration. Because like I said, dolphins are like kind of a spiritual animal. This energy, the dolphin energy, means that you have some sort of like affinity for the spiritual. Like, you have some sort of healing power. You have an effect on the people around you. Like, you help those people out, maybe with not even realizing it. So if you do some like spiritual exploration and kind of realize like this spiritual power that you have, you will kind of step into yourself and step into your power and realize that you are great. You are the Dolphin, which is a really good card to have, I think. So that's something to work on this upcoming year. And now let's look forward, or let's look to what you can look forward to. Okay, so first we have the 3 of Wands reversed. So 3 of Wands is a good card. It is success. It is doing the things that like you want to do and being good at them. However, when it is reversed, it's still a good card. You will still reach success, but you will have trials and tribulations along the way. You will get success, but it will not necessarily be easy to get there. Which I think goes back to your dolphin card. Don't underestimate your power. Don't get like hung up on, oh, okay, that was a little bit hard. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought because it didn't come to me so easy. That's not true. Don't underestimate your power. You are capable of going through these trials and tribulations and still getting to your success in the Three of Wands. So another thing is the Eight of Wands reversed, which I think kind of looks a little bit cooler this way. Anyway, along with this, when it's reversed, it could mean that you are feeling burnt out. Like maybe you are just working on the wrong things, or it seems like the work that you're putting in just isn't like going to the right aspects of your life. And that can be really frustrating, and it might be really awful, but I think it kind of goes along with the Three of Wands. I think these are your trials and tribulations, just feeling like your hard work is going unnoticed, or it's just not going to the right place. But keep working through it. You will get through it. You can get through it, and you will reach success. So you just have to take action. Like I was saying before, this is a year for action. But not only just taking action, you have to take decisive action. Like you have to be really careful, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? You just want to be really careful with like where you put your energy and where you put your time. You don't want to just be like all over the place putting energy into everything. Like there are specific things that you need to work on specifically. But okay, next we have Father of Wands reversed. This I think also just ties into what I was just saying. So when this is reversed, the Father of Wands represents somebody who is maybe too overbearing. Like I think of micromanaging, or just like being too power hungry. Like you're just trying to do everything at once because you are just like so hung up on this like power that you have all of a sudden, and you just want to do everything at once. And what this card essentially is telling you is that you need to like rein in your passions, and gain mastery over your passions, over your like anger, over just your energy. Once you gain a mastery over your energy, you will be able to like channel your energy into the things that need to be channeled into. So like I was saying with the dolphin, like spiritual exploration, spiritual mastery, just like I feel like for you guys, it's the year of like kind of mastering your mind. Like you have a lot of mental work to be done. So this is, I think, like just the epitome of all of that. You can look forward to, if you put in the work, it's not just going to happen to you. If you put in the work, you can look forward to having a higher level of like mastery over yourself, which is great. Like who doesn't want that? Okay, so who is going to be your guide, or what is going to be your guide? And you guys got the wolf, which I think, like I said earlier, is really cool. So the wolf is kind of like a democratic kind of guide. Like, you know, wolves travel in packs. They're a very democratic animal. And I think that you're moving forward, like what's going to guide you through all of this stuff that I just talked about is, you know, kind of having a pack with you, and just being like egalitarian with it. Part of the explanation for this card, it had a little like quote or something, a mantra, so to speak, for you guys to like just think about, and that was embrace all, exclude none. So this could be a year where like expanding your horizons could be really beneficial for you. Don't exclude anyone's advice, anyone's help. Embrace it because it's there for a reason. You know, it could be that your pack expands and you find a new friend and they have some really good advice for you. So yeah, I think like your spiritual guidance will come through other people and like groups and stuff like that. So yeah, group 3, that's sounds like a pretty good year for you. A lot of good like mental mastery for you. So that is all I have for you today. Group 3, Happy New Year. I hope this year is good for you. And yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, group 4, the group who picked the Desert Jasper. Ooh. I apologize, group 4. You are the last group and the sun has gone down, so the lighting looks a little bit weird, but you're not here for me, you're here for the cards, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Just wanted to point it out, I guess. Okay, group number 4. We'll go through your cards really quick and then I will go back and explain what they mean. So for the lessons that you learned, or maybe should have learned this year, we have the King of Swords reversed and the King of Pentacles upright. And then for what you need to let go of, 2 of Swords reversed and the 7 of Swords. What you need to work on, Peacock, your Peacock energy. What you can look forward to, 10 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, and Knight of Cups. And then lastly, who or what is going to guide you through this next year? And you guys got the Lamb. So let's go over what that all means. So first of all, lessons. First thing we have here is King of Swords reversed. So this could be 2 things. So I'll explain one and then kind of like the alternate. Yeah, so abuse of power basically is what King of Swords reversed means. So that could mean that maybe you learned that you were abusing some sort of power in some way, or it could just mean that you were made aware that there is abuse of power in the world, because I know that was a very strong theme in 2020, was realizing that there is major abuse of power everywhere on like every level of institution. So it could be, you know, that generalized, like you're just realizing the world is not fair. There's a lot of abuse of power and it's not good. Or it could mean like a little bit more personal, that maybe you were abusing your power, maybe someone that you know is close to you were abusing their power over you. You were just made aware of that. So if it was you that was abusing this power, hopefully you learned to not do that and to rein in your power hungriness and need to abuse your power, and went through that. But unfortunately, I mean, not a fun lesson, not a good lesson, but you learned about abuse of power this year. Next we have King of Pentacles. This year you learned about resource management, which is another sort of kind of, it could be general, it could be specific. So with the pandemic this year, like a lot of people lost their jobs. There were toilet paper shortages, like it was crazy. I think you get what I'm saying though. Like you had to learn how to manage your resources. You had to learn how to manage your money. You had to learn how to manage your time. If you were like staying home all day, all the time, you just needed to learn like how to structure your day, how to allocate your time and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, it could be super general with just this whole pandemic. Maybe you lost your job, unfortunately, and had to manage your finances a little bit differently. Or maybe it was just something like even more specific to you. I can't think of a situation where it could be more specific. I'm just hearing like just money, like loss of job because of pandemic, money management, resource management. So I think, yeah, this one is a little bit more general. You learned how to manage your money, your time, your resources, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. So hard lessons to learn in 2020, definitely. But I think, I mean, they're good lessons, hopefully. Okay, so what do you need to let go of? we have the Two of Swords reversed. So the Two of Swords, when it's upright, represents kind of like decisions. You see the dichotomy of this decision or that decision. But when it's reversed, it means either you are not making decisions, you are indecisive, or you're making bad decisions with poor judgment. So something you need to let go of in 2020 is that. Either being indecisive, not deciding things and kind of letting it just happen the way it goes. You gotta let go of that. Or if you seemingly like made a lot of bad decisions in 2020, you have to be a little bit more careful with your decisions in 2021. So let go of your indecision and your bad decisions. Excuse me, I know that's easier said than done, but something that needs to be let go. Next thing is the Seven of Swords. So this card represents basically sneakiness, lying, manipulation. You gotta let go of that in 2020. I think with your abuse of power lesson that you learned, maybe it was a little bit more personal to you and you realized you have to like let go of your manipulation, because the Seven of Swords, it's not just lying, like it's using your cunningness to get what you want. So maybe you were abusing your intellectual power to kind of manipulate those who are lesser in intellectual power to do what you want or get you the things that you want. You gotta leave that energy back in 2020. If you learned anything, abuse of power is not cool. It is not fair. You have to leave that back in 2020. Do not bring that into 2021. So what do you need to work on? Peacock, your peacock energy. I think the peacock is a little bit self-explanatory. Like, it's very beautiful on the outside. Peacocks are gorgeous. But what you need to work on is your inner beauty. And I think that goes along with your, Seven of Swords. Like, you need to make yourself more beautiful on the inside. You also have to learn to accept yourself and accept the things around you. The thing with peacocks is apparently they're really good at like assimilating to situations and just kind of like accepting fate, so to speak. And that's something that you need to work on as well. Just accepting how things are, and just rolling with the punches. If you embrace that energy, this next year will be a lot easier for you. And if you learn to accept yourself and love yourself and kind of build up that inner beauty, that will help you also. So work on your peacock energy in this next year, and things will be a little bit better. Because something you get to look forward to in 2021 is the Ten of Swords, which unfortunately is not a good card. You can see this guy literally has 10 swords in his back. Like, he might be dead. He's on the ground. Ten of Swords is rock bottom, unfortunately. And I actually pulled this card in reverse for you guys, which could indicate that you might hit a point in rock bottom, and it might be like because of your actions. It could be your very own fault that you got there, which isn't like, bad. Don't hate yourself for it. These things happen. But it could be because of your actions, which is kind of also a good thing, because that means that you can either make sure that doesn't happen if you put in the hard work and like work on the things that you need to work on. It might not happen. You might not reach this rock bottom. But what I'm getting is that like it might be due to your actions. So watch out for that. Not the best card, I know, but I would rather know than not know that maybe something rough was going to happen to me. Okay, so then we have Four of Pentacles. Excuse me. I also got this one reversed, actually. And this is another not so good card, but I think with the lesson that you might have learned in 2020, Group 4, you're just getting all the little pet animals in your video. They're all just coming over. Anyway, Four of Pentacles reversed represents rough financial times. So, like I was saying before, like maybe you lost your job due to the pandemic and you're having to be super frugal. Unfortunately, I see that energy kind of going into 2021 as well. If that's not applicable to you and you have financial success in 2021, what this card means is that being generous with that wealth will bring you happiness. And I think that kind of ties in with this like inner beauty, working on your your inner beauty. If you have financial success in this year, be generous to those around you because it will bring you happiness. It will help you with your inner beauty, which is what you need to work on this year. Okay, next we have the Knight of Cups, also reversed. So when this card is reversed, it essentially means for you guys that there is some sort of blockage from you accepting good things. There's a fear of disappointment. There's a fear of rejection, which I think goes into your peacock energy once again. Like part of this, if you remember I just said, is accepting yourself, loving yourself, and fear of rejection and fear of disappointment is kind of the opposite of that. If you have a fear of rejection, it's because you think that you're not good enough. If you have a fear of disappointing someone, it's because you think like you're not good enough. And so part of what can help remove this blockage is working on that peacock energy. And that will help love and just good things come into your life, and you will be ready to accept it. You won't be blocking it off anymore with your Knight of Cups reversed. So it might be a little bit of a rough year for you. But if you work on the things that you need to work on, if you really take those lessons that you've learned and apply them to this year, I think it will be okay. Because as I was saying earlier too with the peacock, if you embrace that energy of being able to roll with the punches and just kind of like accepting what you can't change. What's that saying? Like, give me the strength to accept the things I can't change and like change the things I can. That's not exactly it, but I know you know what I mean. You need to accept the things that you can't change, roll with the punches, don't get down on yourself. Like, you deserve this self-love, you deserve this blooming of your inner beauty. So definitely, I think, especially with this group, like, focus on your peacock energy. Work on that really, really hard. So what's going to help you through this year? You guys got the Lamb. The Lamb energy will help guide you through this year. So this cute little lamb, you know, you think of a lamb, you think of like peace, you think of quiet, you think of just like stillness, you know, like baby lambs. I mean, I've never had one, but like I don't imagine that they do too much. They might frolic around and stuff, but like they represent like innocence and purity. Excuse me. And that is what will help guide you through this year, is kind of like that stillness. What I got from this card is that your guidance that you will be getting will come in very subtle messages from other people. Like, I don't see you guys just having epiphanies. Like, yes, this is the message I was supposed to receive. I think you're going to get advice from people, from like maybe an old friend, maybe a stranger will give you a piece of advice, or maybe it's like a little kid that you know, a family member just says something to you. You're going to get this message and it's gonna like strike you and it's gonna like stew in your mind. And you might like hear it at first, but maybe not fully like understand it or grasp it. And with the Lamb, like they will keep sending you this message until you get it. So if you're getting kind of like reoccurring advice or reoccurring messages this year, that is the Lamb energy, like trying to guide you forward. So this year, basically just like keep your ears open, listen to the stillness and listen to unexpected advice, and maybe like just think about the things that people tell you a little bit more. you know, because there might be something there that maybe you're missing. Maybe you just haven't thought about it enough to get the true message. So yeah, that is all that I have for you, group 4. Happy New Year. I hope that this upcoming year is good for you. Thank you so much for watching.